Plum here, g'day champions, how's it going? And welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Today we're going to be checking out my first build for Title Update 22, and it's going to be featuring the newly buffed Chatterbox. I've loved this gun for many years, and the devs gave it a fantastic buff this update. Not only did they increase the base RPM, but they also increased the RPM percentage per stack, making this thing even more of a beast. The RPM on the Chatterbox now surpasses the Ouroboros if you stack it correctly. Now I did drop a YouTube short the other day teasing the insane RPM, reaching 2147 RPM, and I still wasn't at full Chatterbox stacks. However, that build's not going to be for everyone, and it's probably not the best or most viable build for this gun. It was with the Ninja Backpack, 3 pieces of Umbra, and 2 pieces of Striker. It was just a fun piss around build. If you do want a full video on that setup, let me know in the comments below. The way I've loved to use the Chatterbox for so many years is with Hunter's Fury and the Memento Backpack. Your chest piece is going to be optional, you can either go with Sokolov or Grupo. I've tested both, and honestly there's not a great deal of difference between the two. One's going to raise your base damage and one's going to raise your crit hit damage. With the slight nerf to Grupo this update, I still prefer it. Our crits hit about 6k harder than Sokolov, but our non-crits hit about 7k less. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the crit gods are in our favour and we're going to be critting more often than not. This is definitely going to continue to be one of my go-to run and gun builds to smash out content regardless of those new modifiers. Well, I guess it's now time that we take a peek at this build. But before we do, welcome back to all you amazing subscribers. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. If everyone can take a second to engage with this video, a like, a share, a comment, it's all going to help with the magic and the wizardry of the YouTube algorithm. We're setting the bar high on this one, 200 like goals. If we reach that, that would be absolutely amazing. If you do want to support me and the channel just that little bit further, we've now got channel memberships. Click the join button below to see all the perks. And if you want to catch me live in action, jump on over and drop a follow on Twitch. All the links for all my other socials are in the description below. Righto then champions, let's check this build out. Okay, so the way I've constructed mine, I've gone with 5 reds, 2 blues, 1 skill tier, and we sit just over 1.1 million in armor. This is my preference on this. I think you've got a great amount of damage on it and a great amount of survivability. We've got 58% crit hit chance, 157% crit hit damage, but the main reason I love this is for that RPM boost, which can go up to 1900 RPM. The build itself is pretty straightforward. We're running 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, 1 Grupo, and the Memento Backpack. If you don't have the Memento Backpack, another backpack with the Talon of Bloodsucker would work equally as well. For our specialization, I love to go with Gunner for this one for that 10% armor on kill. Every 3rd reload is 50% faster. We're also going to be able to regenerate some ammo every 60 seconds, so it means that we don't need to restock every so. And we're also going to get a rate of fire increase by 5% on kill for 5 seconds. For our primary weapon, we're going with the newly buffed exotic SMG, the Chatterbox. Its base RPM is 850 with a 60 round mag. This one's been expertise to level 12 for quite a while, and we've re-rolled it to have damage to targets out of cover on it. When you reload, your rate of fire is increased by 25% for each enemy within 15 meters for the duration of that magazine. Max stacks at 5. So that's 125% extra RPM that we can get. Kills are going to refill 50% of your magazine, which means that you get to keep that RPM boost. If you play this correctly, I've actually nearly gone through whole Lincoln Memorial missions on just the single reload. Now a lot of people are probably going to be saying that the Ouroboros is better because it simply just has that higher base RPM. Again, if you play this gun and this build correctly, it's going to outplay the Ouroboros every day of the week. It was a little bit tricky to capture a max stack of the RPM, but I think I caught it, and I think it caps out at just over 1900 RPM. Righto, now for the gear on the build. First up is our mask, and it's the first of 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury. 2-piece bonus is going to give us shotgun damage and SMG damage. 3-piece is going to give us 20% armor on kill and 50% health on kill, and the 4-piece bonus is called Apex Predator. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorientates other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies your weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, and this can stack 5 times. Quick math on that, that's a further 45% amplified damage. For the attributes on this, we've gone with max weapon damage, max crit hit damage, and a max crit hit damage mod. For the chest piece, we've gone with 1 piece of Grupo, however, unfortunately, this was nerfed this update. It's now going to give us 13% crit hit damage for that 1 piece bonus. We've gone with max armor, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and a max crit hit damage mod. The talent that I still love on this is Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, and this can stack 20 times. So that's going to be a further 20% amplified damage. Like I mentioned before, if you wanted to use Sokolov here, you could. It just means that your non-crits will be a little bit higher than mine are, but your crits will be a little bit lower. And again, there's other talents that you could use here. You could go with Unbreakable for survivability, or you could even try out Intimidate. For our holster, it's our second piece of Hunter's Fury, and we've gone with max weapon damage and max crit hit damage. For the knee pads, it's our third Hunter's Fury, and again, max weapon damage and max crit hit damage. And for the gloves, it's our fourth piece of Hunter's Fury, again, max weapon damage, but on this one, we've gone with max crit hit chance. And the last item on the build is our Memento backpack. I love this backpack. It gives us 1 of each core attribute, 1 weapon damage, 1 armor, and a skill tier, and we've gone with a max crit hit damage mod. The talent is called Kill Confirmed. Enemies you kill will drop trophies on death. Collecting the trophies provide both short-term and long-term buffs. Your short-term buffs do scale to the amount of core attributes that you have on the build, which means each trophy that we pick up will give us 25% weapon damage, 20% bonus armor, and 5% skill efficiency. Once we've collected 30 trophies, it's going to give us a 30% weapon damage buff, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen. The 3% armor regen equates to about 35k per second on this build. These long-term buffs will last for 300 seconds, or until we die or fast travel to a safe place. The Memento bonus armor, bonus damage, along with our armor on kill, our Apex Predator, and that insane RPM just means that we can run and gun with basically no worries. Now when it comes to the skills on this build, it's going to be player preference. I've gone with the shield, not because I want to stand there and bot walk around behind it, but it's just there, just in case. I don't think during any of that gameplay I actually whipped it out, so you could definitely opt with a different skill. And I love the assault drone. It does a little bit of damage, but it also takes NPC aggro. So if the drone's got the NPC aggro and they're not shooting you, that to me is more survivability. Righto champions, it's fine print time. Let's check out these stats. 58% crit hit chance and 157% crit hit damage. Pretty good. We have 97% all weapon damage and 45% SMG damage. As I mentioned in all my videos, your expertise will impact these values. So if you put 27% expertise on your gun, these values will be higher. Remember, on top of all this base damage, we can get 20% amplified damage from Obliterate, 45% amplified damage from Apex Predator, and our long-term buff of 30% weapon damage from Memento. I guess also the 25% for each trophy that we pick up for the short-term buff along the way. Build's just got a ridiculous amount of damage, what can I say? And there you go, to round it off, the defensive stats, just over 1.1 million in armor, and we are just under 350k armor on kill. Obviously, if you're going to play around with your core attributes and put on more armor, these values will change as well. So that's the build champions. The Chatterbox's RPM got jacked, and it's even more of a beast. Run and gun through content with as many modifiers and directives as you like, and have a lot of bloody fun with this insane amount of RPM. So what do you reckon? Are you going to be a champion and have a crack at this build? What modifications would you make? Let me know down below. Thanks for tuning in, champions, and make sure that you show your support by smashing the like button on this video, and if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe. Everyone's support is always greatly appreciated. Remember to stay frosty, keep looting, shooting, and giving them hell, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. I'm Plum out.